He's defending his Stella Artois title, 18-year-old Boris Becker, seeded 2 here, and of course the reigning champion of Wimbledon. He hasn't dropped a set in these championships so far, but today he faces a man who very nearly upset him at Wimbledon last year. Here he is, 25-year-old Tim Mayotte from the United States, seeded 8 here, who came very close indeed to beating Becker in their match in the 4th set last year at Wimbledon. You'll be hearing more about that undoubtedly from our commentators for this match, who are John Barrett and Dan Maskell.
Well, certainly, Harry, we'll be hearing more about it, because one can't imagine that these men have come onto this court at Queen's today, the first time since they played at Wimbledon, first time they've met, and one can't help feeling that they will both be, well, feeling rather differently about how it ended, of course. Becker was within 2 points of defeat in the tie-break in the 4th set, eventually won the 5th 6-2. But it was quite a match, and here is then a chance for the American to have revenge. I think he's the best. I think he's the best American grass court player after McEnroe and Connors. Some people might dispute that, but I would certainly think so because of his big serve and volley game. At the moment he's ranked number 20 in the world. Of course, the difference today is they're playing a best of 3 set match rather than best of 5 sets, the championship distance has at Wimbledon. Becker, I must say, has really impressed me in the 3 matches that he's played so far. I thought, not having had the chance to play at Beckenham the week before Queen's on the grass, which is what he did last year because he was still engaged in the middle of the French championships when Beckenham was on, he came here a little bit short of grass court play, I think, but has settled down straight away, knowing, of course, himself that he is a much more dominant player on grass because of his wonderfully powerful game, particularly his service. But 2 very big men opposed in this quarter-final. Becker 6'2", his opponent 6'3", and the American 3 or 4 pounds heavier than Becker, who's 12.5 stone. So we're likely to see some very strong hitting, some very sharp rallies, and they couldn't have a better day for it, John, could they? Again, with this marvellous summer's day, somewhere just above 70, I believe, the temperature, and this famous court at Queen's playing as well as I've ever seen it play, indeed. A great tribute to David Kimpton, the head groundsman here.
How nice to see at last a summer scene. I began to wonder whether we'd ever see that again after all the misery of May and early June, but thankfully the sun's shining, and what a difference it makes to the players' attitudes. There's a much more relaxed atmosphere today around the club, chatting to some of the players beforehand, and they're all clearly enjoying themselves out there on these excellent outside grass courts where a lot of the practicing is going on. And this is where a lot of the players gather, on that little corner. As soon as this match gets underway, I fancy we shall see a lot of them standing there watching play. This famous old clubhouse celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. And indeed our sponsors this year, Stella Artois, are celebrating their 50th anniversary in Britain.
1 minute, gentlemen.
So really this is a big occasion for both these players. As Dan Maskell has said, they haven't met since Wimbledon last year, that dramatic match when Boris Becker so nearly decided to default, having re-injured his ankle that had put him out from Wimbledon the year before, at 5-all in the 4th set. But Gunter Bosch, his coach, who's here again today as always, was there beside the court and said, no, play on, and they had the timeout, and because the court they were playing on was so far away on the north side behind the centre court from the locker room, and because it took the trainer so long to get there, he had 2 breaks, which was very fortunate for him. But very sportingly, Mayotte didn't complain about that, and having had the ankle strapped, Becker went on to escape in the tie-break and won the last set 6-2. But they have met on 2 other occasions. In 1985 at Delray Beach last year, a tournament that Mayotte won most spectacularly. He beat Becker 6-2, 6-3. And that was revenge for their first meeting, which had been in December of 1984 in the Australian Open, when Becker really playing almost the first tournament, I think it was the second in fact, after that ankle injury that put him out of 84 Wimbledon. He served 16 aces in beating Mayotte in Australia, and there, of course, gone to Bosch in the front of the stand, and sitting behind him with the dark glasses, Jan Tiriac, former Romanian Davis Cup player, now the manager of Boris Becker, having guided the career of Guillermo Vilas so successfully for so many years. The umpire, Sultan Genji, there will be calling them to order in just a moment.
Quiet, please.
Get the match
Mayotte to serve.
So it's the big
First
serving
set.
Tim Mayotte from Springfield, Massachusetts,
Play.
to open this quarterfinal.
Loud 15.
That's the sort of player, I think, that gentleman Tim, as they call him, Tim Mayotte, a really pleasant man. That's the sort of tennis that I think makes him the third best American player on grass. The serve and volley game is so good.
Thirty, 15.
Right on the line.
Let. Second service. Let.
A little bit nervy, I think, the American serving here. His toss isn't quite as accurate as normal, and there's no excuse today because there's hardly any wind and the sun is behind him. Lovely return.
40-30.
Lovely play. And an early indication there, I think, of the rather more mature Becker than we saw last year. A very nasty little ball that, and played it in a very mature way. Juice?
Advantage, Mayotte. Game Mayotte. First game.
Well, perhaps slightly tense opening game, as one might expect, because this match means a lot to both of them. Not least because there will be a psychological advantage for whoever wins today, should they meet again, as may well happen in a couple of weeks' time at Wimbledon. The Mayotte serve, which is a lovely action there, bent knees, the weight going naturally forward as he throws the racket head of the ball, and the good bend for the volley. Caught a little bit late on that volley, and having to hurry back, and just beaten by that lovely little dink on the forehand from Becker. But he'll be quite happy about winning that opening game like that.
Take
Tim
your seats
Mayotte, who
quickly,
had an
please, ladies and
unfortunate
gentlemen.
start to the
Thank
year,
you.
playing in his first tournament in Philadelphia against Yannick Noah. He had the misfortune
Seats quickly, please.
in the semi-final to pull a stomach muscle, and it meant he
Becker
couldn't
to
play the
serve.
final against Lendl. He was playing particularly well at the time, so he had a long break. Becker at love one.
Love.
Strong second service, bringing about that rather badly mistimed backhand return.
Love. Love.
That's a brilliant serve.
Game Becker. One game all, first set.
Well, for the first service game for Becker of the match, that was brilliant serving. So winning a love game against his opponent's service game that went to deuce. Now this time Mayotte serving with the sun very much in his eyes.
Love.
Now that's one of the great shots of Becker's, the backhand return from the right court, one of the most difficult shots in the game if you're attempting to drive the service return. And Becker this week has shown flashes of it. And obviously a little bit puzzled by the sun there.
Love. Love. Pick up the ball, please. Pick it up near the scoreboard. Game Mayotte. Mayotte leads 2-1, first set.
Well, interesting that Mayotte, in the end where you would least expect him to serve well, with the sun very much in his eyes, serves a love game.
Probably beginning to relax into
Yes.
the match now. Completely different frame of mind you have to adopt playing.
We're very sorry. We seem to have lost both our pictures and sound from Queen's Club. We'll go back to the court just as soon as we can. In the meantime, some music. Our coverage of this afternoon's tennis from the Queen's Club will continue as soon as possible, just as soon as we can regain our pictures and sound. In the meantime, some more music.
Well, welcome back to Queen's. I'm sorry we had a bit of trouble. I think we lost a bit of power somewhere down the line, but all is well again. Since you were here, Becker has held his serve to make it 2 games all, and Mayotte is in his service game at the moment. Let's return to John Barrett and Dan Maskell.
And the score is 40 love with the American Tim Mayotte serving. Becker, the previous game, when we were off the air, held his serve to 30. A lovely game he played to make it 2-all. So 40 love.
Mayotte leads 3 games to 2, first set.
And Mayotte really beginning to serve and volley with great authority. A good deep serve there, and the return nicely high. It's a welcome sight as you're moving in behind your serve, and he was able to punch the volley quite beautifully across the court. Well, he has had some misfortune this year. He's had a wonderful career, though, Tim Mayotte. Gentleman Tim, as Dan Maskell has told you, is his nickname. He was the #1 US junior in 1978, and in 1981 the NCAA champion. That's the intercollegiate champion from Stanford University, the same place that John McEnroe attended. And that's always a sign that you have a good match player if you can win that very, very tough and competitive event. He was named that year the Association of Tennis Professionals Newcomer of the Year. And if you look at his Wimbledon record, his game is absolutely tailor-made for grass. A quarter-finalist in 81, a semi-finalist the following year, and in 83 a quarter-finalist again. And last year reached the last 16, where it was Boris Becker who put him out so dramatically.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
He's been a semi-finalist in Australia as well in 1983, so quite a power on grass. No breaks of serve, 2-3.
15 love.
Well, although the forehand volley wasn't struck perfectly, it really was slightly mistimed and only just sped across the service line. Nevertheless, on this very fast court, and the ball's very warm today, the volley was an outright winner.
Well, we've seen Boris Becker in this last 3 days slipping a little like this. It's as he goes to check there, the right foot just sliding away from him. They wear shoes with slightly pimpled soles to help grip on the grass, but we'll say more about shoe patterns in a minute because there's been a ruling on it for Wimbledon.
40-15.
They were getting worried at Wimbledon and elsewhere on grass that the excessive patterns on the sole were beginning to damage the grass excessively, so now they've had a meeting with all the manufacturers and agreed principles which they've all stuck to.
To start.
Game Becker. Three games all, first set.
So the 7th game coming up, always a big game, this.
Love 15.
And Becker's backhand there hit very, very heavily indeed, and even if his opponent had been able to reach the ball without having to stretch to a full extent, I think he'd have had difficulty with it. That ball sits so hard, and unless you're holding the racket fairly tightly, you're going to have a loose grip. No, no, no.
15 all.
No, you can't quite get the timing of that one. An interesting situation for him. Is he going to go on persevering with the drive return on the backhand side in the right court, or will he play safe and block it and make the other man play a volley? Good serve.
40-15. Mayotte.
Let's have a look at
set.
Let's just have a look at the backhand return there, or the attempted return. It's a good serve, and he's just a little bit late on the ball. Ideally, of course, he ought to be hitting the ball rather more out in front of him, but just a little bit late. But it was a heavy serve, good serving.
Of course, he's having to contend with the sliced serve from Mayotte that's coming right into the body and cramping him. It's not easy to hit the ball away from you with power as it's swinging into you. You've got to time it absolutely perfectly. And really, it has been exemplary serving from him. And he's got his game nicely under control now. Bill Drake there on the right of your picture, the dark-haired chap with the moustache, the coach of Tim Mayotte, and he'll be pretty pleased. And we've seen him making his usual notes on the pad he carries on his lap, watching every match of Tim's, and they'll be having a debriefing after the match to discuss the things that went right and the things that went wrong.
Quiet, please.
I must say the help of having a coach with you on the circuit is considerable, and most of the leading players now do travel with their coaches. So Becker, still no breaks at 3-4.
Love 15. Love 30.
Danger signals here for Becker. Three-four, love 30.
15-30.
Well, I wonder what Jan Tyriak's thinking about that, and Gunter Bosch.
All.
How often we saw at Wimbledon last year Becker's service coming to the rescue when he was in trouble.
$40-30. Game Becker. Four games all, first set.
So from love 30, Becker produces 4 magnificent strokes. The smash made him 15-30, and then 3 successive power services. 4-all. First set of this best of 3-set quarterfinal.
Love.
Well, I hope that is not the beginning of an injury. He certainly dropped his racket suddenly after attempting that return, flexing that forearm muscle.
All.
Lovely return of service, forcing the American to play a very nasty half volley, which he played very well, but couldn't hold the forehand pass.
$15.
Oh, it's a lovely wrong footing volley.
And you'll see here that Becker has to check to decide where this volley of Mayotte is going. The return really a bit too high, and he thought clearly it was going into the forehand corner and had no way of getting back because the volley was so deep. So 40-15.
Game Mayotte. New ball, please. Mayotte leads 5-4, first set.
And Mayotte playing a magnificent grass court serve volley game.
Certainly Becker's being given a lot to think about today. But the service of Mayotte is being very well directed. He's varying it well, and Becker having problems in deciding just how to return it. And a visitor today, Sarah Ferguson, among the crowd. No doubt on the left of your picture there, just there she is. No doubt enjoying the sunshine and the warmth and the excellent tennis we're seeing. And her big day, of course, to come in July. And Dan, it occurs to me that Becker, we thought last year, was perhaps the most promising 17-year-old we'd ever seen. He's a much more mature boy now, and talking to Jan Tyriak about him, he's delighted the way he's no longer rushing himself out of points, which he was doing at this stage last year. But I'm wondering if he's still got all that fire, or can call on that marvellous fire that was there last year and brought him through so many crises.
That youthful, spontaneous innocence. Not aware then of many of the risks that he took, I think, John. But nevertheless, here he is, 4-5 down in the first set.
Love.
That's a lovely return.
30-15.
Tim Mayotte just taking that ball a fraction earlier. What a difference it makes.
All.
One wonders just how expensive that double fault is going to be. 4-5, 30 all.
$40-30. Becker. 5 games all, first set.
Well, now who is going to crack first on the service? 5 all.
Love 15.
What a sweet volley that, right out of the middle of the racket. One can almost hear the string singing as he timed that ball so beautifully.
$30-15. 40-15.
Finding the service return when he attempts to drive just a little bit wayward, the timing not quite there as it has been in the 3 matches that he's played earlier. The manager and the coach there watching this very carefully. And on the other side, this is Mayotte's entourage.
Well, now you see this service only has to be a weeny bit short, as that one was, and Becker does have the time to make that telling return. So far, most of Mayotte's serves have been very deep, swinging well into the body. No chance to do that.
Game Mayotte. Mayotte leads 6-5, first set.
So, as we watch this very exciting first set here in this quarterfinal, wonderful crowd here at Queen's, just over 5,000, and up in the corner there on the left, many distinguished visitors always come to Queen's to see the rehearsal, as it were, for Wimbledon. And Miss Sarah Ferguson there in the middle of the stand at the back of the court. And I believe that, at least I've read that she plays tennis herself, so she'll be picking up, no doubt, quite a few hints here. But a lovely day for it, and one hopes that it will be a lovely day for her in July. So, a wonderful scene for this championship that was originally the London Grass Court Championships. First started in 1890 here at Queen's. And in the picture in the corner there on the right-hand side, the real tennis courts and the extended pavilion just going out of your picture now. It used to be a wooden stand in the days of Oxford and Cambridge athletic sports here and the Corinthians football.
Thank you.
The club with a great history. It's just celebrating its 100th year, and there's a very lovely book that has been produced about it. But at the moment, Becker in trouble. 5-6 down, serving to stay in this first set.
Few people wandering about at the side of the court. That was why Mayotte stopped the server.
Now that really is a brilliant pass.
And it's the return of serve here that prevents Becker from making a forceful volley. It's low enough there, and he rather feels for that volley instead of punching it, and pays the penalty. Love 15.
Love 30.
Second double fought. One wonders whether his service will save him this time.
$15-30.
$15-30. That's a very, very clever shot.
Well, if you ever wanted evidence of the growing maturity of Boris Becker, here it is, because it's a very dangerous shot to try. He must be so relaxed out there and yet keyed up to play well.
Wonderfully quick reaction, John.
40-30. Game Becker. Six games all, first set, tie-break, Mayotte to serve.
So Mayotte will serve, having started the first set on the service, and we've been on court in this match just a couple of minutes, under 3/4 of an hour.
One, 0, Mayotte. One all. Two, one, Becker.
That really was a tremendous service. Not only, of course, the tremendous speed through the air, but the penetration of this now becoming a very fast grass court indeed after just 4 or 5 days of play. 1-2.
Two all.
Yes.
3-2, Mayotte.
That's often as good a serve as any, straight at the body of the opponent. Oh, that's a brilliant shot.
3 all.
And he comes in, steadies himself here from this mishit return of serve. It would have been so easy to have missed that. Of course, the percentage shot would have been to get in a little bit quicker and punch it down Mayotte's forehand line, but a fine shot.
3 all in the tiebreak.
Four, 3, Becker.
So there's the all-important break of service.
Becker.
So Becker, with 2 services to come, could take the first set if he holds them. So Becker's second ace gives him 2 set points.
Game and first set, Becker. Seven games to 6.
Well, John, I couldn't help thinking, as his set came to its end, that at Wimbledon last year, when Mayotte was 2 sets to 1 up and within 2 points of winning the match against Becker in the tiebreak.
And not just against Mayotte, but time and again this boy has shown us that when it really matters, he can produce the goods. Both serves and returns of serve. Remember that also Joachim Nystrom served twice for the match against him at Wimbledon, and yet he found the inspiration to break the serve. It is the sign of a great player, you know, this ability to be able to bring out the big shot when it is most needed. And Becker has that happy knack. I believe it is an inborn quality, that. It's something you can't really ever teach anybody. It's just that the adrenaline seems to flow a little more quickly, and the concentration is a little keener,
Take your seats quickly, please,
and
ladies and
you
gentlemen.
make the shot you have to make. I suppose in our time the most glorious exponent of that was Bjorn Borg, who, to my way of thinking, is the best match player I've ever
Quiet,
seen.
please.
But certainly Boris
Second
Becker,
set.
still only 18, has this quality,
Becker to serve.
which is a priceless one.
So after 49 minutes of the that first set, Becker about to serve, and the sun has just gone in for the moment. Yes.
Love 15.
Nicely played by Mayotte there. An awkward ball for him, but he took his time. And what he needs, of course, now is a very quick break of service.
Fifteen all.
Start.
15-30.
The longest rally we've had in the match so far, and a rather nice change of tactics by the American, as he chipped the service return and went in to take the initiative away from the incoming serving volleyer.
30 all.
I doubt whether he'll attempt that tactic now at 30 all.
Beautiful. Well, again, it's the service return from a very good serve. He keeps it low enough so that Becker can't make an attacking volley and hits a beautifully judged angled backhand across the court there. The familiar figure of Boris Becker diving vainly this time and not hurting himself. 30-40.
Good.
Extraordinary thing is that that was the first point against the serve that we've seen in the match, the first break point, not including the tie break.
Advantage, Becker.
Very unlucky. That was, I thought as he hit it, that was a perfectly struck lob. Perhaps didn't have just enough top to bring it down quickly, but could only have been an inch or so out.
Game, Becker. First game, second set. First set, Becker.
Well, once again, Boris Becker rose to the occasion, saving the set point, but he was made to work very hard indeed in the course of that game. It was at 15 all we saw this excellent rally. Return there blocked back, and Mayotte deciding to follow it in, and really I think was going to play a lob there but didn't. Got very well back to his side for the lob, and Becker was a bit slow getting back for his lob, and really that was where the rally should have ended. And I don't think he thought that Mayotte was going to make such a telling reply off the wide forehand and misses with his passing shot as Mayotte himself takes the net position. So it was enterprising play there from Tim Mayotte, who perhaps at the age of 25 is at his physical peak and playing the best tennis, I think, of his life. Certainly he was in January in Philadelphia when he had the bad luck to strain a stomach muscle, which put him out and caused him not to be able to defend his Lipton's International Players title, the inaugural tournament he'd won in 1985, but he couldn't defend it. And so he had about a 6 weeks gap. A little short of match play than Mayotte, but not looking like it today. Hardly put a foot wrong. Love one.
$15 love.
Well, there's the familiar face of Jan Terrier, moved now beside the scoreboard, simply because the seats they were sitting in were the press seats, and they were obviously sitting in some writer's place.
Oh, that's a glorious stroke.
15 all.
Now, really, this is a glorious stroke. He plays a backhand return there, but this time the ball is a little lower and his opponent is fully entrenched at the net, in position, and yet the Wimbledon champion produces a really classic backhand return. 15 all.
Left. First service. 30-15.
And what a difference it makes when the service just lacks real length. I suppose that was about 4 feet short of the service line, giving the opponent time to step into it. 30-all.
Oh! Oh! 30-40.
So the first double fault from Mayotte. And it could be expensive. It's a break point for Becker.
Juice.
Well, there's a wonderful return. The service was very good. The slice took Becker well out of court, but this very agile 18-year-old was across there in a flash. That was a lovely return, beautifully controlled. Break point for the second time.
Ball. Juice.
I think that was a case of he who hesitates. It looked at one time as though he was shaping to play a backhand lob. Then it seemed he changed his mind and tried the backhand pass. And you can't, at this level of play, afford to hesitate for a split second.
Advantage, Mayotte. Juice.
Now that was a volley that should have been put away, I think, for a clean winner. Bit tentative.
Advantage, Mayotte.
Second ace from Mayotte.
Juice.
Well, you wouldn't see a better return of serve than this. It's low, it stretches Mayotte to the full, And the pass, he just has to decide which way he's going. And Mayotte really having very little chance.
Advantage, Mayotte.
Becker can't quite get that favourite shot of his, the backhand return in the right court. Can't quite get it under control today. He's hit one or two useful winners, but on the whole, he's a bit uncertain of that one today, having played it so well in the previous 3 matches. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, you can't ever get tired of watching this sort of stuff, can you? Gets his feet right this time, and that's what he's been working on with Bosch and Tiriac. 2 little skip steps. He's a heavy chap, really, for his size. 173 pounds he weighs. 6'1½". And Tiriac will be pleased about the movement there.
Just out.
Advantage, Mayotte. Game, Mayotte. One game all, second set.
And easily the longest game of the match, 5 deuces. Becker had a couple of break points, but the number 8 seed and the world ring number 20 player, Tim Mayotte, getting out of that rather well.
Well, I can only think that Mayotte is deliberately stalling a little bit here after Becker had queried that serve of his, which he was sure was on the line, letting him know that there are 2 men in this match. 1-all.
Oh. Oh. 15 love.
Well played.
$15
I must say, Mayotte kept his head there. He didn't expect, I think, his first backhand attempt at the pass to be returned. When it came back off the end of Becker's racket, kept his head very well when making the second backhand pass. 15 all.
$15.30. $30 all.
So 1 game all, 30 all. Second set, first set to Becker, 7-6.
(40-30). Game Becker.
Well, the drive, very legitimate drive, of course. If you can't find an opening for a pass,
Becker
then straight at the man is a
2 games
very,
to 1, second set,
very sound
and
shot.
by 1 set to love.
Becker just got out of the way of it in time. So the crowd still enjoying this. The sun not quite so so consistent, and perhaps not quite so warm, but it's a very lovely day. And the stand there, on the left of your picture, Sir Brian Burnett, the former chairman of the All England Club, and just in the middle, raising his fingers there, the present chairman, Arthur Hanningham, who succeeded him a few years ago. And they're just sitting to the right of Sarah Ferguson, enjoying the tennis, I'm quite sure. But it's remarkable through the years, the celebrities and the great people who come to watch the tennis at Queen's, and not only the lawn tennis, but in the back of the place where they're sitting now, there, the rackets court and the real tennis courts. People from all over the world come to see the varied games
Take your
and
seats quickly,
racket
please, ladies and
games that are played
gentlemen.
at this
Thank
old
you.
club. But at the moment we're much more interested, I think, to see
Seats
how
quickly,
Becker
please,
copes.
now.
Leading 2-1.
Quiet, please.
2-1 in the second set, having won the first 7-6. The
Quiet,
tie-break
please.
was 7-4. Well left.
15 love.
Well, when the wrong footing shot comes, it's a good serve, and it's a very well-driven return of serve, perhaps a bit high, but he wrong foots the Wimbledon champion and doesn't take his eye off the ball as Becker is scrambling about on the floor, and wins the point very happily.
Love.
Well, so far the American service has been a bit short each time, each point that's been played, and Becker hasn't really, mentally it seems to me, kept alive to really do something with it. Been on court about an hour and 10 minutes.
Game Mayotte. Two games all, second set.
So Tim Mayotte winning a love service game without serving really very well.
Love. 30 love. love.
Ace number 3.
Game Becker. Becker leads 3 games to 2, the second set, and by 1 set to love.
John, one of the things that I find a little difficult sometimes is to see whether Becker is better on his serve down the middle or on the backhand.
Well, I think all the people watching around this court on this lovely day will be wondering the same thing. And what a perfect day it is for tennis. Absolutely no wind at all, the flags hanging limp on the flagpoles, the sun beating down out of a clear blue sky, the sort of day that was designed for a fine tennis match. And a fine tennis match it is. Boris Becker injecting a little bit of needle into the match by querying first the serve of Mayotte, and then Mayotte holding him up, Becker in turn holding Mayotte up. There's just a little bit of needle under the surface here. Not that I'm suggesting that the match is being played in anything but the most sportsmanlike way. Nevertheless, they both know it's an important occasion. And I think Boris Becker, thinking back just about a week ago when he was losing to Pernfors in the quarterfinals in Paris, when he won the first set immaculately 6-2 and then finally went out in 4 sets, 6-love in the fourth, losing his way totally on the unyielding clay where the long rallies defeated him and the energetic chasing of Pernfors defeated him. How much he's relishing the change here and the fast courts which so suit his game. 2-3.
Love. Oh. Love. Oh. Love.
Third or fourth time that Mayotte has used the wrong footing tactic to very great effect.
Game Mayotte. Three games all, second set. Love.
Fourth ace. Boris Becker certainly punched that forehand volley. He had a chance because it was only just below shoulder height.
Left. First service.
Well played indeed. Well, there was a very destructive lob from Mayotte.
Left. First service. First service.
That's a great return on a very good second service.
Well, that's not a bad serve, but Mayotte decided before it had come where it was likely to be. He was all ready for it, swung through the ball perfectly to find his angle. And you have to take risks like that. Had Becker decided to go down the middle, of course, he was dead. 30-all.
A marvellous piece of fielding up in the members' gallery there.
40-30.
Chap in the hat there on the right actually caught the ball beautifully.
Game Becker. Becker leads 4-3, second set, and by 1 set to love.
But John, once again, we've now watched Becker over the years. We've watched him when he won that lovely final on TV against Edberg at the National Exhibition Centre at Birmingham, the January of last year, which set him up perhaps for his Wimbledon victory. But we've watched them all through. I still find it difficult to see where he's going to serve, you know. I mean, most players, one after a bit, you begin to know where their habitual service is likely to go. You see them change their stance, change the direction. But I find it very difficult with Becker.
I think the players find it difficult chatting to them. They do tell you this, that they can't really see where it's going when he's in the groove and serving well as he is again now. And it's an immense advantage to be able to get 2 cheap points a game often, as he does, let alone the clean aces he serves, the 16 he served against Mayotte in Australia that first time they met, and the dozens of aces he served at Wimbledon last year and here. It is a terrific advantage.
Seats quickly, please, now.
But the beautiful thing is that he isn't just a server, he's very much more than that. Volleys so well behind it, he finds the inspiration off the ground when it's needed.
New balls.
Time for another change of tennis balls. Mayotte, customarily you show your opponent that it is a change, and it's 3-4.
Left. first service. Oh. 15 love.
Well played.
Well made Becker look a little bit disappointed, because he did have a chance to win the rally. In fact, I thought he thought he'd done it there with that pass. He can hardly believe it when Mayotte gets across to this next one. But Mayotte read the situation so well, committed himself just the right moment. Playing quite beautifully now. 30 love.
$40 love.
Tim Mayotte's third ace.
Game Mayotte. Four games all, second set.
No breaks of service in this second set.
In fact, only twice have there been points against the serve in the first two games of this set, which often happens after a tie-break, doesn't it?
Oh, what a chance.
15 love.
No, he had too much time to think about that. I think Mayotte, it's the sort of thing that so often happens.
Oh! $15 all.
That's his third double fault.
Oh! $15-30.
That's a rather nice way to make the pass instead of waiting off the ground, making a volley pass. So 4 all, 15-30.
Oh! $15-40.
2 break points.
30-14.
His fifth ace on second service.
Juice.
Well, what a chance for the American. He really had a really short ball there. The service was at least 5 feet short of the cross service line.
Left. Second service.
Well played.
Advantage, Becker.
Well, that was a very interesting recovery by Boris Becker there. He was slightly off balance, and the lob came up rather quickly.
Becker leads 5-4, second set,
But
and by 1 set to love.
John, I thought that was the play of a champion, you know, being down there at 15-40 like that on such an important game, and then to bring that stuff out.
And once again, Becker has risen to the occasion. And there was a point there at deuce. We'll have a look at it in close-up on Becker and see how he throws all his body weight beautifully into the ball. A second serve coming in, the little steadying shot. Then the volley, beautifully struck to Mayotte's backhand, the lob, and he finds a way of getting back quickly enough to kill with a round arm smash. And just relaxing there under the towel on a very hot day, easily the hottest we've had here, probably the hottest of the year. And to me, Becker has that champion's quality that Dan Maskell was talking about in abundance. We saw it particularly here when he was game point down, 15-40 he was, and this was a second serve, and he slices it out wide, and it turns out to be an ace, his fifth ace of the match. But what courage to project it so fiercely and fast and wide.
Quiet, please.
In what is a very dangerous area to serve to, the forehand side, unless it's that good. But how wonderful to have the confidence to know it would be that good. 4-5.
Mayotte serving them to stay in this quarterfinal.
Oh! Love 15.
Champion, defending champion here, rising to the occasion. Two punishing shots, the topspin there and again on the backhand side, forcing the error with the projected drive down the line there.
I think that was the point you've made, John, forcing the error. You see, the volley was out, and people might say, well, it was a volleying error, but it was absolutely forced out of the volleyer. So it's love 30. Serve.
15-30. All.
4-5, 30 all. Second set.
Forty, 30.
Oh!
Game Mayotte. Five games all, second set.
Well, that was a really badly timed attempt at the return. The service wasn't anything out of the ordinary either.
Oh. Love.
Well, it's a lovely shot if you can bring it off the lob volley, as Tim Mayotte tried there, but it's a very dangerous shot unless you're in perfect touch. You know?
Love.
Mayotte taking plenty of time. Yes, sir, an early ball.
30-15.
What a difference it makes when you just stand in that extra foot or two.
Let. First service. 40-15.
Just out.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy to both players, please refrain from clapping until the rally has ended. Thank you.
Well, the appeal there from the chair, Sultan Kianji, the lives in London. It's 40-30.
Game Becker. Becker leads 6-5, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Well, Boris Becker has played this match in a mood of great calm, great contrast to last year when he was very excitable all the way through. It's the maturity that is always hoped for, but in so many young players never arrives, and it's come quickly with Becker, for which all his associates are very thankful. And they do prepare carefully. They came over here to play on grass as soon as he had lost a pair and fourche in Paris. And chatting with Gunter Bosch, he was telling me that he's trying to vary the practice opponents of Becker so as not to let him ever get bored by practice and having the repetitive practice. So today, for instance, he played against Bob Seguso, one of that famous American pair, Seguso and Flack. And he's been playing with Matt Anger and Paul McNamee, among others, this week. And I think that's a superb idea to keep the boy fresh in his outlook.
Quiet, please.
One can so easily get into a rut on the practice court. So now, can Becker find the inspiration once again to break the serve? Not that he's yet broken Mayotte's serve, except in the tiebreak. It's 5-6.
Love.
Yes, a winner.
Love.
Well, a remarkable rally. One of the fastest rallies I think I've ever seen. Love.
Love.
Well, that's the first time in the match when Becker has fallen in going for a shot that Mayotte has not finished off the rally with a winner. Must have been a bit disconcerted there, I think. But it's 40-15.
Game Mayotte. Six games all, second set, tie-break, Becker to serve.
So this time in the tie-break it's Becker who will start. Yes.
1-0 Becker.
Just inside the baseline, the smash. They've been playing for an hour and 3/4 and now moving as fast now about the court as they were when they started. On this very, very warm day.
One all.
Well, that was a complete miss-hit.
2-1 Becker.
It's the shot that he's been trying to find all afternoon, the backhand return from the right court, but complete miss-hit this.
Well, it's an extraordinary thing, isn't it, that the shot he's been trying to hit all afternoon, he's hit a few of them too, but not as many as he's been hitting previously this week. The very one he wants, he gets not through a clean shot, but through a miss-hit. Life is not fair, is it? 2-1.
All.
I rather think that was a bad toss of the ball. It went too far back behind his head. I was surprised that he didn't let that one drop and start again. But that's his fourth double fought.
To Becker.
So service break to each man in this tie break. I must say some of Becker's low volleying behind the service has been very fine. Two, 3.
Three all.
Fourth ace to Mayotte.
Becker.
So once again, Becker takes the lead with the service break.
Roll it down, please. Roll it down. Thank you.
4-3 Becker.
For all. Let. Second service. Five, four.
Well, in spite of getting round his backhand very quickly there, Mayotte mistimed, misjudged the forehand return.
And we welcome our BBC Two viewers here to Queen's Club in the middle of a tiebreak of the second set between Boris Becker, the defending champion here at Queen's, and Tim Mayotte, a man who gave him a tough fight at Wimbledon last year. Becker won the first set on a tiebreak, and the second set's gone exactly the same. Here's Mayotte serving, and the score in the tiebreak at the moment is 5 points each.
Six, five, Mayotte.
So Mayotte has a set point.
Six, all.
So Becker, just when he needed it, bringing out that very, very heavy first serve again.
Well, we're coming to the end of our coverage here on BBC One, but if you switch to BBC Two, coverage is continuing there. You'll see it without losing any play at all. But here on One now, we must say goodbye to you on quarterfinals day here at Queen. Well, we're coming to the end of our coverage here on BBC One, but if you switch to BBC Two, coverage is continuing there. You'll see it without losing any play at all. But here on One now, we must say goodbye to you on quarterfinals day here at Queen's. Goodbye.
Becker serving 6-all.
Seven, six.
And that well-placed second service of Becker's gives him a match point. Beautiful ball.
Seven, all.
What a lovely volley. So that saves the match point.
Mayotte.
So Becker, so Mayotte for the second time has set point.
Ball.
It's out. One set all.
Game and second set, Mayotte, 7 games to 6. 1 set all.
Well, John, what a match this has turned out to be. There's been some very, very fine tennis and some highly competitive play there.
One had the feeling that Mayotte, sensing his chance, was determined to make Becker play that return, and it was a quiet enough return, and Becker is perhaps at his worst when he's having, on the volley that is, when he's having to make the pace himself. He's very good when he reacts instinctively, but when he's having to make the pace, then he's liable to make the odd error. He played that too carefully, and everybody enjoying themselves here. The distinguished persons gallery up there, and all the sun-baked spectators in the open stand. And I must say, Dan, you and I sitting here, how lucky we are to see such a lovely match on this quarterfinals day at Queen's. And who is to say now that Mayotte might not upset the odds and knock out the defending champion? We shall see.
I must say, Mayotte played a beautiful point, you know, to save that match,
Take your seats
match
quickly,
point.
please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Final set.
And these first few games of the final set are crucial to both of them. They must maintain deep concentration. The first 2 sets lasted 1 hour and 53 minutes. So the concentration now beginning to be tested.
Quiet, please. Final set, Mayotte to serve. Fifteen love. All.
And I think the only thing to worry about here is whether Mayotte's leg that's strapped is going to be damaged by this diving fall right out of Becker's own book. The attempt failing. I don't really know what it is that's wrong with that leg that's heavily strapped. Certainly in chatting to the players earlier, nobody had mentioned it. So I don't think it can be very serious. 15 all.
$15.30. $30 all. 40-30.
Just out.
Advantage, Mayotte.
Ace number 6 from Mayotte.
Game Mayotte. First game, final set.
Well, Mayotte did well to come out of that one from 15-30 because he was looking a little bit as if the edge had gone off his concentration. And I think Becker hadn't quite got the courage to go properly for his returns. He mistimed very slightly 2 attempted winners. I suppose you could look at it the other way, that had they been in, they would have then he would have been a hero and got his early break. But neither of them will mind that the fact that this has gone to a final set and has become a long and tense match, because in preparation for Wimbledon they'll both, and indeed for the latter stages of this tournament, they'll want to have had some tough match practice.
Time.
So Becker first away from the chair, eager to get on with the battle. And I wonder if in the closing stages we shall see the needle creeping back into the game, which was certainly apparent in the second set.
Becker to serve.
Nothing unpleasant, just a little bit of good, hard match play. Love one.
Fifteen love. $30 love. Call. 30-15.
Fifth double fault from Becker.
Oh, 30 all.
So love 1, 30 all, final set.
$40-30.
the 6th ace.
Game Becker. One game all, final set.
That's the situation that after 2 hours and 5 minutes of play. A really tough quarter-final this for both men.
Left. First service. Love.
Well, there's a nice sight. The two coaches sitting virtually side by side. On the left, Bill Drake, the coach of Mayotte, and Gunter Bosch, who looks after the fortunes of Becker.
15 all.
Second double fault from Mayotte. Overdone, it's
15-30.
well angled too much, but a lovely return of Becker's under pressure, really having to play a backhand half volley after a deep volley right down at his baseline. Well, the concentration there of the spectators is comparable to that, I think, of the players.
30 all.
Well, you won't see a better return of serve than this. Taken out in front of the body, the racket forced forward through the path he wants the ball to take. On the rise, there's nothing much you can do about that. So a break point.
Well played indeed.
So this rally defence overcomes attack, and blistering attack it is too. One feels that Becker might have just put it a little bit wider, but it's so easy to play from up here when there's no pressure on us. My goodness, what brave volleys from Mayotte. Deuce.
Advantage, Mayotte.
Well, we've seen some very, very lovely low volleying in this match, particularly the low volleys behind the service return, behind the service rather. Both men have been very, very good.
Game Mayotte. Mayotte leads 2-1, final set.
Well, the tempo suddenly rose there in the course of that last game. Mayotte under threat and answering the threat quite beautifully. And this is what it's like in the cut and thrust of fast rally tennis on grass or on fast cement, particularly on grass where the ball's a bit low. That marvellous rally we saw just now at full speed again. And the reaction of Mayotte quite superb. Absolutely going to the right place at the right time.
John, what interests me today is that Mayotte is thrusting off as strongly as Becker does, and he's not slipping. His feet aren't giving. Becker playing that same recovery volley, such as Mayotte played there, would almost certainly have slipped over. Shoes, I suppose, or some problem, or what?
It's perhaps a slightly different sole pattern, but Mayotte anyway is...
a better mover, perhaps.
And I think anticipating
Yes.
a little bit better than Becker today. He's moved several times to the right place when Becker has had a choice. But of its type, it is a lovely match.
Oh, it is. And Mayotte, you see, has had three good wins. He beat Bill Scanlon and he beat Mark Woodford of Australia and David Pate, fellow American. Only dropped one set in doing getting those 3 victories.
Quiet, please.
In fact, the set that he's taken from Becker today is the first the champion has lost all week. 1-2.
Love.
Ooh, that was a nasty blow. The ball girl suffered. Girls from local schools.
all.
Becker paying the penalty there for a rather short, very short second serve. And the 7th ace from the young German.
All.
And this is the habit that both Bosch and Tirick are trying to get him rid of, just playing carefully and safely on those easy high volleys. He tends to push his volleys instead of punch them. And really he was remiss there.
40-30. Juice.
Well, having a few moments ago said how well both players were volleying from below the height of the net. Becker has suddenly changed all that. That was one that certainly shouldn't have been missed. So it's 1-2 deuce, final set.
Advantage Mayotte.
Well, small wonder that Boris Becker's getting a little bit annoyed with himself, and we're seeing him now urging himself on in the way that he did last year, trying to get the adrenaline flowing, and with it the inspiration. Here's a break point.
Mayotte leads 3-1, final set.
So the number 8 seed, Tim Mayotte, really finding some magnificent form just when he needed it. A 3-1 lead in the final set. The man who at Wimbledon was within 2 points of beating Becker in the last championship at the All England Club. So there's the service break.
Love.
Oh.
30 love.
A case of Becker there pulling his head up when he realized the opponent was right bang on the net.
Love. Game Mayotte. Mayotte leads 4-1, final set.
A very dramatic change of affairs when you think that Becker had the match point at 7-6 in the second tie-break in the second set. And here he is, 4-1 down and a break of serve down.
Well, Mayotte has kept the concentration level very high, and one felt that in the last game Becker's concentration was slipping because he mishit the ball, he got angry with himself. It's been on occasions like this in the past when we've seen the very best of Boris Becker. Now, for the first time this week, since the glory that happened to him here last year, he is under real test. And we'll know a lot more about his growing maturity in the next 15 minutes or so. Well, now, the spectators literally brought to the edges of their seats, including Sarah Ferguson there. And small wonder, because it has become a gripping contest, not just for the quality of the tennis that's being played, but for the psychological situation that's going on down there, both between Mayotte and Becker, keen opponents in the past. Becker leading 2-1 in their career meetings since he first beat Mayotte in '84, December '84 in the Australian Championships, and then again at Wimbledon last year so dramatically.
New balls.
But now he has an awful lot to do as he serves with the new balls at 1-4.
$15 love. $30 love. $40 love. Becker. Mayotte leads 4-2, final set.
Becker, who played such a poor game, just the previous one to the service there, making up for it with brilliant serving. 4 points won by service power. But he now has to break back somehow, otherwise the match is met. 4-2, final set.
$15 love.
Well, there is a cool, calm, collected passing shot for you, off a really quite deep volley from Mayotte, but not deep enough or fast enough to prevent that accurate pass. Mayotte perhaps a little guilty himself there of playing rather carefully. 15 all.
Left. First service. $15-30.
The third double fought.
$30 all.
Well, that's a really rather bad backhand return of serve. Didn't move his feet much, and certainly didn't play it very firmly with the arm.
$40-30. Mayotte leads 5-2, final set.
And I rather think Mayotte is taking advantage of perhaps his opponent feeling just a little bit sorry for himself, which is rather surprising for a Wimbledon champion.
Yes, I don't really think he's feeling sorry for him. I think he's feeling annoyed with himself that he can't quite produce the goods when he most needs it. Up against it absolutely now, back against the wall at 2-5. It is just one break of serve though, and things can so easily change, but Mayotte has been serving so very cleverly throughout this afternoon, mostly into Becker's body with slice, cramping him against his side, not giving him the chance to swing the racket wide where he's so good. And I think that has been the secret of the falling standard of Becker's returns today. So Mayotte has played a very carefully thought out match, no doubt planned with Bill Drake in the locker room beforehand, or perhaps last night over dinner. Bill there sitting and chatting away with Gunter Boris. That's a pleasant sight, isn't it? The two coaches exchanging notes, verbal ones anyway. The physical notes are being made by Bill on his pad.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Well, now Becker needs to have a secure service game and then find the inspiration that he did last year. 2-5.
Let. First service.
Whoa.
Love. All.
That was a great return of service, taken fairly early, and what an angle.
Well, here is the return of serve to look at once again. All the pace taken off the ball and making it a very awkward half volley. Though Becker is continually flexing that right arm. It's something that happened early in the match. 15-all.
.30.
Wonderfully sharp play by Mayotte.
Well, Dan, it occurs to me that here he is, 2 points from victory once again, just as he was at Wimbledon last year.
Oh my goodness, what a tremendous stroke.
Well, what a spectacular return, because he's decided to cover the backhand side before the ball was even delivered. And how spectacular to reach match point that way. Double match point.
By 2 sets to 1, 6-7, 7-6, 6-2.
So a tremendous victory for the number 8 seed, the number 20 player in the world, Tim Mayotte and Becker going off having failed to retain the title that he won so brilliantly last year. But a memorable match, wonderful tennis, but I felt at the end of the, towards the end of the match, in the middle of the final set, there was a little lacking in spirit on the part of Becker. But a tremendous performance by his opponent. And this 5,000 crowd giving a great hand to both players, and Sarah Ferguson saw a match that will be remembered for a long time, I think. So once again the score 6-7, 7-6, 6-2, and the match lasted 2 hours and 27 minutes, and the number 2 seed and the holder of the title beaten by the number 8 seed Tim Mayotte.
And there's one down there.
Well, that really was a tremendous performance and a great tribute to Mayotte's persistence, because he had a rotten start to the year when in Philadelphia he had that awful injury that prevented him from defending the title he'd won so beautifully last year at the Lipton tournament in Boca West. And now he's come back on the eve of Wimbledon to underline the fact that many people will think that he is one of the best outsiders in the draw. He's going to be seeded, of course, or is he ranked 20 in the world? It depends what happens to his ranking. He conceivably won't be seeded, in which case he'll be a very dangerous floater. And I must say, if I was playing in that draw, the one person I would not want to see near me would be Tim Mayotte.
We got the winner of the match against Boris Becker, Tim Mayotte. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That is not a bad win to get 10 days before Wimbledon starts, is it?
No, but I'm kind of looking at, I mean, it's a great impetus and push to go into Wimbledon with, but it's a great win all by itself and a very important tournament.
Was there a feeling when you started that you'd like to get revenge, because you came very close to beating him at Wimbledon last year?
Yeah, I don't know if revenge is the right word, but it's just the feeling of being amongst the top players in the world and beating them.
Just tell us why it changed suddenly, because you had those 2 tremendous sets where you really had everybody was fighting for a point. There was no break of serve other than in the tie breaks, and then suddenly you seemed to slide right away from him. Now, why do you think that happened?
Well, I think a lot of it's the mental stability and your ability to maintain that through a long match, and sometimes one player does that better than others, and it's so often a difference, particularly on grass. And today it was my day in that manner.
Do you find that with the sun out like this and the warmth that this helps you a lot, particularly?
Yeah, I think the court's playing a little bit more quickly, and that certainly favors me. Although I'd say it favored Boris as well, but I feel very happy out on that court. It's playing fast and true, and that's the way I like it.
After those first 2 very tough sets, I mean, did you feel it in yourself when the third one started that this again was going to be a long, tough set?
I was prepared to go the distance, but I felt that I had actually more chances than Boris had during the match, and that if I could just, really gather in those chances and take advantage of them, then I could win this set outside of a tiebreaker or having it go a great distance.
Now that we know that John McEnroe is not coming to Wimbledon, of course, everybody's saying it's going to be a very open Wimbledon, and I'm sure that's right. So this must give you, a real chance to get a long way at Wimbledon.
Yeah, I feel that, honestly, I feel there's 8, 10, 12 players that could win the tournament this year, and I feel I'm amongst that group, and I'm going to do everything in my power to win it.
If you don't win it, who do you think might?
I'd say, obviously Boris, but there's a tremendous amount of pressure on him going back and doing it twice in a row. I'd have to say Lendl is certainly someone to look out for, because he's got it the way he likes it. Everybody's turning their heads the other way and saying, he's not comfortable on grass and stuff. And he's playing much better now, and I'd say he's one of the players to beat, along with I'd honestly say Edberg, and I think this young man on the court now, or both of them, both young men, Connors and Anna Cohn.
One a bit younger than the other.
Connors and Anna Cohn have a really good shot, along with Kevin Curran, who has that advantage over most of us in being in the semis and the finals of Wimbledon.
Great. Well, many thanks, Tim, and congratulations on your win. It was a wonderful win for you, and good luck in the next round, too.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Tim Mayotte, the conqueror of Boris Becker today. It was a very sad defeat for you. Well, what's the explanation?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very close match, and I said before that match that now after the match I think I know where I am, and he's one of the best grass court players, and I mean I was 1 point away from winning the whole match. I mean I had match point, and we had before we had some close battles, and I always at the end was the winner, but this time he was the luckier man.
But you have got a problem, a hand problem.
Yeah, I have a hand problem, but I don't want to say this as an excuse. I mean, it's like the tendon here, I have some problems here, and I even pulled out of the doubles.
Have you? So how long will that take to heal? Because we're only 10 days away from Wimbledon.
I mean, I had this injury before, like 2 weeks ago, and it came one day, and suddenly from one day to another, injury was gone, and hopefully the same thing here now.
It's a pity because you obviously do enjoy coming to play on grass, don't you? I assume you've been looking forward to coming to it.
Yes, I am. And, you know, I played one of my best 3 matches this year so far in the first 3 rounds, and I was really playing well. But this morning I was practicing, and the problem started there. I couldn't return a backhand anymore.
You feel fairly confident that it will be all right by the time Wimbledon starts?
Doesn't matter how, it's going to be all right.
Now, just let's look back a year when you had that wonderful victory.
Yeah.
Now that you're a year away from that, what do you remember? What was the greatest memory of the finals day when you finally thought, I am the champion? What do you remember about that day now?
I remember that day that afterwards I was up here, and Jimmy Connors gave me an interview. I remember that very well.
Now, when you go back to Wimbledon, you've got to go out at 2 o'clock and start the defence of your title in the traditional way as the champion. Is that a daunting prospect? Does that worry you?
Well, I'm a little bit proud of it, you know, that I can go out there the first day at 2 o'clock as a defending champion. I think not everybody can do that, and I'll go out there and try 110% and give my best and try to win.
Is it more difficult, do you think, this time to go back there as the champion and defend it than it was last year when very few people gave you a chance of winning it?
Yeah, you're right. You know, I don't know it. I never went into a tournament as a Grand Slam winner, and I never went into Wimbledon as a defending champion. I don't know how it is, but I think it's going to be very difficult because it's a very big win to beat me there.
Now, there's no McEnroe there this year, so it's a fairly open tournament, one would think. What are your feelings about the prospects? Who do you look on as the people that you really worry about there?
Well, this year there are going to be lots of players who have a really good chance, because nobody is really dominating it on grass, you know. I think Tim Mayotte is playing very good, he's dangerous, and Kevin Curran, and the finalist from last year, and Stefan Edberg, and even Jimmy Connors. I mean, I saw him the other day, and he looked quite...
yeah, he looks like a young man again.
He looks like younger than me, yeah.
I'm not so sure about that, but he looks fairly young. Now, who do you... Now, supposing, leave yourself out of it.
I'm one of them also.
Oh, I should hope so.
Yeah.
Now, leave yourself out of it if you can't win it. Who do you think might win it?
Well, I go into a tournament to win it. And so
if you... Suppose you weren't playing, who would you back to win it?
I don't know. I mean, to win 7 matches, it takes more than just playing well. You know, you have to be very fit and mentally very strong. And I don't know who can do that. I have 5 players in my mind, but I don't want to tell them.
Keeping it dark, eh? Now, while I've got you here, I know that you were a very keen footballer when you were a younger man, and you know a bit about it. Have you been watching the World Cup?
Of course, like every other German, I think. Yeah.
Well, we've all been watching it too. Now, who's impressed you? Which teams have impressed you most?
Now suddenly England won 1 match, now they're talking about winning the whole cup. But my favorite team, and I'm going for Germany.
Oh, I thought you might say that. How do you think they've been playing? What about the match with Scotland last weekend?
It was a very, very good match. I mean, the Scottish played really well, but I think the Germans are still a little bit too tough for them,
But it worried you when Scotland got an early goal?
No. I mean, I know my Germans, and I knew that they're going to make 2 more.
You think West Germany is going to win the World Cup?
Brazil impressed me very much. They beat Northern Ireland 3-0 yesterday, and they made some very good, played some very good football.
You mentioned England. I mean, we were all surprised that they came out and did what they did. Why do you think that was? Was it because they changed the team and the formation of the team?
No, probably they were with the back to the wall, and they had to. I mean, they had to go out there and win or die, and they won.
It's a bit like Boris Becker. So when you've got the back to the wall, you go out and serve an ace.
Yeah.
So that's what they did, eh? Yeah. So, who do you think, a couple of weeks' time, who's going to be in the final of the World Cup?
I could say Germany and England, but I don't think so. So I say Germany and Brazil.
Right, okay. And it wouldn't be a bad double, I suppose, if West Germany won the World Cup and Boris Becker won Wimbledon again.
It would be the best thing ever happened to Germany, I think.
Wonderful. Boris, thanks for coming up. And sorry about the result today.
Yeah.
And I hope the hand gets better quickly.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Many thanks indeed.
Right.